Hi, Tacoma. I love it down here, by the way. I just want to say it's really, really awesome to be in this room with all these amazing, strong women. Not just the ones sitting on the couch, but all the ones out here, too. And then the couple of men who have been drugged here and aren't intimidated by us or were intimidated by us, and that's how you ended up here. We welcome you as well. Yeah, thank you very much. My picture's everywhere, so here I am. As my mother would say, well, this is as good as it gets. I'm Brooke from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning, as she said. If you listen, you know I'm not exactly a motivational speaker. Kind of more of an expert in fart jokes. I work with 6 guys in a very small studio, so it also smells like farts. There's a lot of stench that's happening there. So if you need any advice on how to take care of that, also an expert. And it's pretty cool. We're syndicated now in 50 cities, which is awesome. Our biggest market that we're in is Chicago. Here in the Puget Sound area, we've been able to be #1 for 7 years straight. So, yeah, right? It's not too shabby for a kid from a very small town of 700 people in North Idaho. I grew up in a real small town. We had one paved road. That was the highway. It was 2 lanes. There is no stoplight still to this day. And we have town characters like Buzzy Bootin' and Walkin' Rodney. And I did not make any of that up. That's real life back home. There's 3 bars. One's Joe's Hole. Joe was a professional female boxer. She's kind of a badass. I wish she was here to talk. Her partner was a bartender at my wedding, stirring people's drinks with her finger, and then licking it to make sure it was good. She also wore earrings that said #1 bitch, because I am positive that she is. So this is where I come from. And I've managed to build an entire career around being myself, because it's really the only thing I know. Oh, I haven't gone through my slides, you guys. You gotta wait for me for a second. I forgot about these parts. Because the whole point, oh, look, there we are. There's our morning show. That's after, not kidding, 3 hours of makeup for all of us. Oh, there I am. So this is just to let you know that it isn't always easy to be your authentic self, right? This is me in 7th grade, and this is the year that I knew I was never gonna be a cool kid. And I remember the moment it happened. I was on the bus, and of course, sitting in the front. I don't know if you guys remember bus ranking, but the popular kids are not in the front. They're all in the back. And I was wearing my coolest Looney Tunes gangster shirt, because Bugs is thug, so... and I was like sticking to the seats, sitting with my best friend, and all of a sudden, from the back of the bus, flew an egg salad sandwich, smacking the seat in front of us, spraying us with mayonnaise and egg shrapnel. And as you could tell by the glasses, that stuff is not easy to come up. That's a lot of glass I had to clean. So I spent the rest of the day smelling like egg salad sandwich, which may be the most hated kid lunch ever. And it made me realize, I wasn't going to be a cool kid because, I couldn't be. I didn't want to be. Because if that's what it took to be a cool kid, I'm out. I'm done, right? These people aren't making decisions because of what makes them happy. They're making decisions based on what they think other people will like, right? And not a lot has changed. That's the start of my fashion blog, if you guys can see it in the back. I'll give you the website later. Very fancy. I don't know if you guys realize that. Very fancy. This is a normal day at work for me. I think it's fine. Other people have different opinions. But it's fine. Professional chic, right? That's what I'm going for here. And the thing about being your authentic self is it is not necessarily an easy journey. There's going to be bumps. There's going to be, turns in the road. But I think that what has made it harder for all of us is social media. Because we get online and we see these perfect pictures, and we put up perfect pictures. We edit, we filter, we post, and then suddenly we get lots of likes. Oh my God, and I'm not gonna lie, I check those things. It feels so good. They designed it that way. There are so many studies that say and talk about how getting a like on social media legitimately gives you a dopamine hit. Like you become a drug addict because of Instagram. And then you think, well, what's the harm, right? Like what's the harm of putting up only pretty pictures of myself? Because I think that once you start to get enough of those dopamine hits, you start to blur the lines between social media world, right, and real world. So not only are you starting to question like, oh, is that picture good enough to Instagram? You start to question yourself in the real world. Like, am I good enough for Instagram? Am I good enough for this room? Am I smart enough? Am I funny enough? And I think it's taken those insecurities that we had pre-social media, and it's really magnified them. And so I post pretty pictures too, right? I love it. Are you kidding me? I take 80 of them, and then I pick the one that looks the best. I'm not gonna lie, right? We all do that, and that's okay up until a point. Like, what's the damage in posting beautiful photos? Well, the damage comes when you start to blur those lines between social media reality and real reality. And you start to question who you are, and you start to base your decision on what other people think. Just like those kids on the bus who threw the sandwich, right? So now, social media has us living in one or two worlds. You're either the kid that gets hit by the egg salad sandwich, or you're the thrower. And that's what it feels like, right? I mean, honestly, there's bullies online. They're adult bullies, and we call them trolls. But they hit me up all the time, let me tell you. All right? But we post pictures like this, and they feel not quite right, at least in my world. Because I feel like when I put up a picture like this, like I'm lying. Like, okay, Brooke, let's be honest. You wore makeup and showered and blow-dried your hair for the first time in 3 weeks. I won't go as far to say as I shaved my armpits, because we all know I didn't do that for this or tonight. I actually had my leg up in the sink. But I start to feel guilty, because now, not only am I basing my decisions based on what I think other people would like about me, but I'm starting to build this whole gallery of this fake utopian world that I live in. And now I'm creating a reality that I can't even live up to, right? You look back through your social media posts and you think, what happened? Life used to be so perfect. I have pictures to prove it. And so the very next day, I decided, well, let's get real. That's what I really look like at work. This is the authentic me. And you know what? I like this me just as much as I like the other me. I think we're both great. You know, we've had some fights here and there, but I think this Brooke is just as great as the other Brooke. And it's hard, right? It's hard to be your authentic self in the world, in social media, because being your perfect self and presenting your perfect side is so much easier. But once you start to build that, like, how do you get away and start to love all the messy parts in life? Because the messy parts are what make us who we are. So, okay, I've lost my train of thought for a second. I blame whoever's pouring this wine, because this thing is deep. So we're going to talk about how to love yourself a little bit more, especially in the digital age, because these are all great big ideas about how to accept who you are and to put out exactly who you are for other people and to base your decisions not on what other people think, but what you want. And I always need like an action list. I'm like, yeah, great idea, guys, but what do I do about it? So my first one is accept compliments. This one is hard to do for a lot of people. Even if you've noticed, if you compliment a woman's clothing, the first thing she will say is, oh my God, you wouldn't believe the sale I got on this. It was on clearance. 2 cents. That's all I spent on it was 2 cents. But really, it's like as if we don't deserve nice things. Like at some point, someone just needs to say, you know what? I worked really hard, and this shit was expensive. Okay? So I really feel like everyone in this room, let's just start saying thank you. And if you're really feeling like a badass, how about thank you, and I agree. I do look great. You are right. And even if you don't believe it, I do feel like this is a fake it till you make it type of situation. Like, you start telling yourself the same thing over and over and over again, you will start to believe it. Next, journal. I really, truly believe that writing some stuff down will really give you some perspective. Like, for me, it makes me realize how dramatic I am and how ridiculous I can be at times. So when I'm having these big thoughts, these big emotions, these big questions, like, am I funny enough? Am I smart enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I whatever enough? I write these things down, all these insecurities. And not only am I no longer the sole owner of that, which feels good, but I also can go back through, flip back into the past, and realize, wow, 23-year-old Brooke was really stupid. And also how far I've come, right? Like, that was silly. Like, I got through that just fine. Like, I thought that was going to be a bigger deal than it actually was. So, now we're to action point number 3. This is a swimsuit theory. This is simply be kind to yourself and don't put yourself in dumb situations, right? Because like any relationship, it takes a lot of work, right? It takes patience, it takes empathy, and you need to have a relationship with yourself. You need to love yourself. But in order to do that, you also need to make smart choices, like not trying on swimsuits in fluorescent lighting. Unless you're a Heidi Klum, that is really dumb. That is what 2-day delivery, a bottle of wine, and candlelight are for, okay? We all look good under candlelight. And the nice thing, when you go to the pool, you don't have to look at yourself. You just picture yourself in candlelight, it will be fine. I promise. Yoga, I think yoga is just any sort of physical activity. Anything where you can get some exertion out. It's yoga for me, because good on you guys for running, all right? And I do that every once in a while, but it's not enjoyable for me. So whatever it is, whether it be yoga or Zumba or dance or walking around the block or running 18 marathons in 2 months, just get out there and sweat a little bit. You'll feel better. Volunteer. Volunteer. The world needs better people, and you guys are all in this room. So if you are not doing that, it could be once in the next 6 months. Like, don't expect a lot, right? Like, start small. Remember, 3 minutes of running. Exactly. Same with volunteering. You probably have to do more than 3 minutes at a time, but, And then the patience part. If you don't get one thing on this list done, don't beat yourself up over it, right? We need to be kind to ourselves. We're kind to others when we love someone. Why not be kind to ourselves? And last, but certainly not least, laugh at yourself. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my coworkers put up a sign that I put the bathroom out of the order. I did not. That time. And as the great Indigo Girls once said, my favorite band, you have to laugh at yourself because you'd cry your eyes out if you didn't. And that is true. So I just want to say, I hope you guys go out there. I hope you love yourselves more because I know that I love you. And I really appreciate you having us here tonight. It means the world, and I feel incredibly honored to be here. And, it's not about being cool or being liked on social media. Go ahead, post that makeup-free picture, the one with the, chubby on the outside. It doesn't matter. Go out and love yourself, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it.